everyone, and welcome to the Slay to Success Talk Show. My name is Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I advise and empower women professionals, especially women veterans, to step up into their most authentic brand to attract and gain profitable opportunities. And we are using 4 areas to get just that. And that is appearance, behaviors, communication, and our digital presence, what I call the ABCDs. And once you've mastered these areas, you are going to get everything you desire and you deserve. Okay. Now, on this show here, I bring in amazing people, y'all. Okay. I search high and always searching low for a man or a woman who is using the slave philosophies to make a positive impact in this world. And I'll tell you tonight, y'all don't want it. Okay. This is where we're going to really be talking through some very impactful conversations. So grab a friend, go ahead and share. Tell them, hey, come on into the space. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We just want to welcome you into the show, into our space, because you could have been anywhere else. But tonight, y'all, you decided that you want to stick around and lean into the conversation that we're going to have tonight. Now, what is Slay? Okay, I get this when new people. So if you're new to this space, thank you for being here. But I'm telling you, Slay is a whole movement. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. This is a community of visionaries and trailblazers and change makers. So if that is you, you always want to come back here to the Slay to Success Talk Show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, SLAY is also an acronym, which stands for Universal Life and Leadership Philosophies that really resonate with me the most. And I know that they resonate with you too. And that is stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community, and you are built to last. So, all of my guests, that's what they are doing. Okay. They're using not only the word for what it means, but also the acronym. And so this is an opportunity for us to learn, to grow, to elevate our mindset, to really get in, tap into what someone else is doing and be moved and inspired by what they are doing. So that way we can go out and we can do what we do. Okay. So as you come into the space, let us know where you're tuning in from. Give us your name and your city. Okay. Where you're at. I'm here in Odenton, Maryland. So all my Maryland folks that come into the DMV area, as we call it, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, come on in and let us know so that way we can give you a proper shout out. Now, I also have a Rise and Slay show, which is on Tuesday mornings at 7 p.m. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you just can't get enough of the Slay, you can come back on Tuesday, selected Tuesdays, because I won't be there this Tuesday because I have a special announcement to make, and you will see that on LinkedIn or Facebook coming up here really soon. Okay, so what is it that I do? Okay, so not only am I a keynote speaker, I'm also a personal brand expert. That means I help women specifically and a few good men to build brands and to build a brand that allows them to attract opportunities as opposed to chasing. We do not chase anything down, people come to us. And we build a brand so strong that it is memorable and it is long lasting. I'm also a certified image consultant. What does that mean? Well, not only do I help you with the behaviors, communications, and your digital presence, I also help with styling. So if you are kind of stuck and you're not quite sure where to begin with that, I do have personal styling. And all of this is wrapped up into my Brand Boldly program or the Brand Boldly experience, because it is an experience. When you work with me, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a transformational experience. And I'm also using a lot of the things that I'm doing now, and I'm deriving all this from my 30 years of military service in the United States Air Force. So I just want to make sure that you knew who I was so that when you put in the comments of who you are, we get to know each other a little better. So let's just continue on with the program, if you will. And let me just tell you who I have with us tonight. Now, y'all, when we met, we automatically knew that we were kind of like soul sisters, okay? We just knew that we wanted to do something and we found a way to collaborate. And so tonight, y'all, I have my great friend, Audra Russell. Now, you may have seen her on some social media, maybe on Facebook, on LinkedIn, but she wears the color green. That is her brand color, if you will. Okay, and she is the founder of R5 Hauling and Junk Removal. All right, and it is a woman family run business here in Maryland. And after nearly 20 years, y'all, as a homemaker, she launched her business at the age of 53 with just a trailer and a mission to help people clear space and reclaim peace. Okay? Now known as the Clutter Conqueror, Audra doesn't just haul things away. She helps lift emotional burdens tied to clutter. And as a speaker, she shares powerful insights about the emotional weight of letting go, especially during life transitions like loss, downsizing, or starting over. And through her business and her voice, Audra is helping others make room to breathe and space to thrive. So I want you all to give a warm welcome to my guest, my friend, Audra.
Hi! Yay! We're here.
Y'all, this has been in the making for, I would say, I don't know if it's been a year or so, but it seems like it has been some time where we've really thought, okay, we will start to collaborate and partner and see what we will create together. And this is yet the first of many, y'all. So you will see Audra again. But knowing what she does, what I do. And so after meeting you, Audra, and then y'all, this is how ready. Okay. In my world, okay, in Slay Nation, okay, people are ready. So all I had to do, we went at our chamber meeting on Friday, and it was Friday morning, y'all. And I did not have a guest that was lined up for tonight. It was just gonna be me. And I don't mind coming here by myself, but I always appreciate having somebody with me, right? So me and Audrey were sitting beside each other and we were just talking it up. And I said, hey, you know what? You need to be on the show. And she
Okay.
said, okay. And you know what I mean? Here we are. She had her photo. Listen, had these headshots ready, y'all. Okay. Had the headshot. She had her bio. And it was voila. And make it happen. So
Stay ready so you
let's
don't
stay
have to
ready.
get ready.
So you don't have to get ready. Okay. That
Mhm.
is what we are doing here. So I am so excited about our conversation tonight. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for your yes.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yes. You know, because of your path and kind of where you are right now, I would love for you to give kind of some baseline stories, if you will, who you are, how did you get to this point, and then we'll just continue the conversation from there.
Okay. Well, again, my name is Audra Russell. I own R5 Hauling and Junk Removal, and how it started was out of necessity. I needed to bet on myself. I was a homemaker for 20 years. And when I decided to go back to work in higher education, which is what my master's degree is in, because my daughter is going to flight school studying to be a pilot, which is expensive. And I said, well, my kids are all in their 20s now. Let me, go ahead and get a job and try and help with the expense of that. And when I went back to higher education, I kept interviewing and getting a second interview. And people said, well, you still know your stuff, but they didn't want to hire me. They said I was overqualified, which is their age discrimination way of saying you're too old, you've been out of the game too long.
Mm.
So I said, okay, well, what can I do? And you have to understand that junk removal has been an undercurrent in my life. My parents, I lived in one house for all of my life. Then my parents moved to another house when I was 16. And I stayed there until I was, out of college. And then my parents moved around a lot. So every time they had to get ready for a move, I would help them declutter, get the house ready for sale, all of
Mm.
that. And when I came out here to be with my husband, we lived in a row home that his mom owned that everybody used as the storage space. And I was like, no, I'm not living in this. We're going to clear this out. And I called
Mhm.
a dumpster, had them come out, cleared the whole house, painted it, made it look great. When we moved in with my mother-in-law, when she sold that house, she had a room in her house in the basement that had not been cleared in decades. And she said, you'll never be able to clear that room. And I said, I can do it in one day, but you have to focus. And I don't want to hear any stories about memories. We just gonna, it stays or it goes. And she didn't think that I could do it. And we started at 7 in the morning, and by 3 o'clock, everything was out and gone.
Mm.
So it's always been there. This helping people, and then my own house. We all get clutter,
Yeah.
but 3 times a year I go through my house. Always in the spring, always in the fall, and then always that last week of December, leading up to New Year's Eve. I do a deep declutter and clean so that I can start the year with a fresh, clear space.
Mm.
So when I was thinking of what can I do, these videos kind of, how YouTube be listening to you and you say stuff
Mhm.
and then it just drops in
Mhm.
your algorithm. And it was
Yep.
how to make $1,000 a day with a pickup truck. So I started watching
Oh.
these videos, and it was about junk removal. And I had already had a pickup truck because I grow my own food. So my husband had got me a pickup truck a long time ago. I used it to haul, soil and plants and all that.
And it was
And, I,
how to make $1,000 a
and
day.
so I said, okay, I can do this. And he said, okay. So he bought a utility trailer, and he's very good with building things. So we built walls on it and painted it black, and then put magnets on it, and off and running, put all the website and the insurance and all of that in place. And here I am a year and a half later.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, there's so much to that. And I'm going to be asking some questions so that
Sure.
way we can kind of tease it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got Leslie on the Facebook side, and Facebook, y'all try not to let me be great, okay? Because y'all won't let me edit the privacy feature on here. That's okay. That's okay
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I've got a community who is sharing it out. Okay. So she's on that side. And Leslie says, good evening, Queens. And she says the mantra of Slay Nation, which means stay in action mode. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
you heard it from her. We're going to keep on repeating that. But thank you, Leslie, for being here on the Facebook side. I'm watching the comments here on my phone. So that way, if anybody else leaves some comments, we are here and we will address anything that you have a question about. Now, Audra, you done shared something that I think some people are not really in tune to. Okay.
Okay.
Number one is you took a skill,
Mm-hmm.
all right, that you have done over some time
Mm-hmm.
and you turned it into a business. Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, for me to clear out a closet, and I'm looking at the closet I got going on here in my office, which has got all kinds of sleigh stuff going on and piled boxes and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That right there for me is like 2 and 3 day process. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to go through all the things because you're right. Some of this stuff is emotional, and then we like, oh, we need that, but we really don't need it. And then we keep
Mm-hmm.
on it, and it just carries on and so forth and so on. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you knew that that's what you enjoy to do and you were good at it. So you turned that into a business. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Second, when you say that you started a business, at the age of 53,
Yes.
after being a homemaker for, 20
20 plus
years,
years.
you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? That is not easy. And I'll tell
Mm-mm.
y'all, if anyone who wants to start a business after the age of 50, there are some insights
You're
that
gonna learn about yourself
you're
when you
gonna learn
become an
about yourself
entrepreneur.
today, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because while everyone else was doing and mastering over the years, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
this thing called business, here we are, and we're trying to, accelerate success and figuring out what tools do we need to do
Mhm.
that? So it's just a little bit of variation, I think, as you get older on how do you approach it. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like Audrey making money. Okay. So I'm just saying, if anyone out there is looking for something to start their business from, look at what you're good at. Look at what you
Yes.
enjoy. Because that's what's going to maintain you the success in your business. Because you're going to get up every day going, "Oh, I got a call. They want me to come
Mhm.
in the house and take care of this job.
Mhm.
I got that." I'm
Mhm.
just so proud of just even the insight and the awareness of just stepping out there and taking a leap of faith.
It was. Let me tell you something. When you are, I mean, my grandmother was a wonderful woman. My both my grandmothers were, but my paternal grandmother especially, she was. She worked as a haberdashery, men's clothing.
Men's clothes.
Um, she was the top salesman, and this had to be like, I guess, 40s, 1940s, something like that. Um, she was a top salesman. Understand, white women would come to her in a time when segregation and Jim Crow were still very much a thing, very, very much a thing. And they would come and say, Maddie, what do I need to wear? And she would look at them and tell them the cut of the suit that they needed to do. And, she knew she could look at you and tell you what size you were. She was just very good at what she did. And
Mm.
when she went for a raise, because she was a single woman, she had left my grandfather and was raising two kids. And when she um, went for a raise, they told her, we don't give raises to colored people. And my grandmother said, I will never allow anyone to tell me or to control how much money I can make. So this
Mm.
woman went off and had two successful barbecue businesses. And she also had an antique business that Crosby, Minnesota is now known for antiques. My grandmother was the first person to ever have an antique shop. Crosby is antiques because of my grandmother. So that entrepreneurial spirit was in me. I remember going to my grandmother's antique shop. I remember, just looking at her, dealing with people that would come in and think that, this woman doesn't know antiques and doesn't know her stuff, and try to get her to give them these priceless antiques for cheap. And she was like, no, she wasn't playing. She did not suffer fools. So that spirit has always been there, and when I went to go start this, I knew that there was going to be a learning curve, because
Yeah.
when you do something on your own, you learn what your weaknesses are very fast.
Yes.
And but you're basically, you have to acknowledge them and work on them, or
Hmm.
find someone who's strong in what you're weak in, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So you do a lot of introspection, because when people say no, you doubt yourself, you go through all the, am I good enough, should I be doing this, that kind of thing. And you have to build yourself up. So
Yeah.
it's, you really learn deeply about who you are and who you aren't. And
Yeah.
you also learn who to share your dreams with, who to share your
Mm.
goals with,
Mm.
because everybody that's around you is not
Yes.
for you.
No, they're
Okay.
not.
Some people are around you just to watch you fall.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
So, I had to learn who was it around me that was for me, and who was around me just because they wanted to secretly see me fail. and i
Yeah.
and i still learn that every day, because when you're networking and stuff like that, you run into people who want to network with you because they see you as a threat, or they look at you and make an assumption based on how you look, and think that you're not qualified to do what you do.
Mhm.
And you get challenged on a daily basis, and you
You
have to
do.
be very strong to be in business for yourself.
You do. And
Hmm.
you're absolutely right. You brought up some really good sound advice. The whole thing with Not everybody for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And not everybody sees your vision. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the vision was given to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're the one who sees it. So don't get overwhelmed or frustrated that others don't see it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that entrepreneurial spirit that you learned from your paternal grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things that many of us can look in our family's lineage and go, you know what? They were an entrepreneur. I probably got a little taste of that too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a right or wrong thing. Being an entrepreneur, we're not saying that you just need to go and just do it, It just take into consideration of what's happening for you, and it's an
Mm-hmm.
option. It's
Mm-hmm.
just an option. And you could do the side hustle, okay? And I believe
Yes.
that if you got a job right now, don't
Yes.
quit the job, okay? Especially
Mm-mm.
if it's bringing in the right amounts of monies for you,
Mm-hmm.
and continue to work your business until you can get
Yes.
out of that, right? Because
Yes.
that's supplemental income. So this is not a, well, you need to be over here on this side and do what we
Mm-mm.
doing and talking about what we doing. We're just
Mm-mm.
providing you a perspective about, starting a business after the age of 50,
Right.
which can be daunting, and it
Mm-hmm.
is a steep learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
So Leslie on the Facebook side, she says, you really pursued your purpose and passion. You rock.
Oh, thank you, Leslie.
Okay. So, and and the thing about it, y'all, is Audra just didn't just start the business. Okay. There was a whole theme or a, the way that she presents herself. And I caught a glimpse, y'all. Okay. I was at a networking event. And we didn't talk, we hadn't met, formally. We met, through one of our other mutual friends, Mia. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but there was a whole, appearance thing that you have created, like a persona. So
Mm-hmm.
tell the audience a little bit about that and
Mm-hmm.
why and what that is and all the things.
It's my brand. It's, when I started, there's a lot of junk removal companies out here. It's the trending thing to do because it's easy to start, and you don't need much to start it. But a lot of these people are not going to be around long term. But for right now, there's a lot of junk removal companies out there. So I needed to make myself stand out. Now, when I picked my colors, I picked green and yellow because green is environmental. But in the back of my head, I picked green because green also means new beginnings. Okay. Green
Yeah.
also means growth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that color has a lot of depth to it. And when I went to networking meetings, I was like, nobody knows me at all. I need to go in here and I need to make these people remember me. So, what can I do? Okay. So, I wore, my t shirt. Initially, it started off with just my branded t shirts. And then I took that green and really brought it forward. And I started wearing green everywhere I went. Green shirts, green shorts, green purse, everything green. Have a lighted name badge that's green. Um, and it started working because people would say, "Oh, you're the lady in the green."
Hmm.
And then I took it a step further because I in that first year of business again, I had jobs, I did estate cleanouts and things like that, but that little imposter syndrome voice to pop
Mm.
in and say,
Mm.
you who are you to start this business, and you're up here telling people that you do clean outs and that you're an expert junk removal person. You haven't been doing this that long. And I was like, but I have been doing it that long. I've been
Yeah.
doing it all my life, just not as a business.
Right.
And to shut that voice up, I said, I'm going to wear a cape because I'm my own superhero.
Mm.
Because I knew when I put that cape on, because I started calling myself the Clutter Conqueror, and I knew when I put that cape on that I was going to have to force myself to show up in a certain way in rooms with a
Oh,
certain energy. So I bought a cape on Amazon, and I bought these big, bold, glittery letters that say the Clutter Conqueror. And I would put that on and I would walk into networking events. And people would just look at me like, "Are you wearing a cape?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And they're like, "What are you, some kind of superhero?" I was like, "Yes, I am. If you have clutter, I am the Clutter Conqueror. I am your superhero. I will conquer that junk. Yes, I absolutely." And people were just like, they would look at me like I'm crazy, but it shifted from that to every time I walked into a room, I would have people come up to me and say, "I saw you walk in the room with a cape on. I had to come and say hello to you because I need to know who you are."
Girl.
And so I don't wear the cape too much anymore, but it's attached to my truck. It's attached to my chair in the truck. It's always there with me.
Yes.
But you have to make yourself known in
You
whatever way
do.
you can. And you always talk about, see, Rochelle has been in my head. Okay, I bought her book about getting your wardrobe together and all of that. And when I read that book, I said, okay. And I have all her other books as well. And when I read that, I said, okay, um, I need to bring the game forward. And that's when I really started, elevating the look. I went from jeans and a green shirt to wearing green slacks and a green shirt, or wearing a shirt like this that has the green and the pink in it. And, just elevating the look a little bit. And I sat down and said, what do I want my look to be? And I wanted it to be casually fierce,
Mm-hmm.
comfortable, and always in command. Those
Mm.
were my definitions that I came up with after reading her book. And so whenever I buy anything now, if it doesn't meet those criteria, I won't pick it up. And before, I would just pick up anything. Oh, like, this is cute because I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of girl. So I'll pick up a t-shirt, whatever. And now I'm just like, nope, I'm more intentional, because if I pick something up and it doesn't, I swear I can hear Rochelle saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Because that's her thing. That's her phrase. When something ain't right, "What are you doing? What are you
What
doing?"
we doing in here?
And she knows. And I told her this when we ended up at a networking event together
Yep.
unexpectedly. And I walked in with this green kind of flowy shirt and these green pants.
Yep.
And Rochelle, y'all need to watch. Rochelle does the scan, okay? She does the brand scan and the energy scan. Anybody
Princeton.
that walks in the room, Rochelle does this, and you have to watch. It's very slight. She's very good. She goes, and she checks you from top to bottom. And if something don't match up with her, she's not going to gravitate your way. She's going to move into the area of the room where the energy is right and the people are on point. Okay, you got to watch her. So whenever I come out the house and I'm going to these networking meetings, I'm always have her in my head like, am I going to pass the Rochelle brand scan?
The Princeton.
The,
Listen, y'all. I absolutely.
you got to
First of all,
watch.
I'm so tickled right now. It's not even funny. Like the brand stand for me, it's like from the military standpoint when they would have these we would have call them reviews where they bring in formation and then you walk by this stand of
Mhm,
leadership and you're saluting and they're looking you over to make sure that you are in line and wearing
mhm,
the right uniforms and all this other stuff, so that it just immediately goes there. But you're right. I'm like, it's the vibe and the energy that we are
mhm,
bringing into these rooms. And making a decision that we don't just have to place ourselves with anybody and
mhm.
anything, because
Yep.
when command, oh my gosh, like for me right now, I'm like, my head is just, mind blown from the word command, because it's about being in control
Mhm,
of what you are doing and being
mhm.
intentional. And
Yep.
you're right. When I saw you in the outfit, the green outfit, as opposed to, a kind of like the the
The
outfits that you were
t-shirt,
wearing
my
before.
jeans.
It was
Yeah.
refined. You
Mhm.
know, it's in the refinement of your
Mhm.
brand. And
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, Queen, okay.
Yes.
Listen, I'm seeing you. You are like in this room taking over. But you know what happens, y'all, when we start to like embody our brand,
Mhm.
you know, and
Mhm.
the success, I have seen acceleration in the success of your business in
Mhm.
the way that you show up on media. You
Mhm.
know, it is like night and day from when we
Mhm.
met.
Mhm.
And I know for sure it's because you decided, why don't you just go all the way in? Why are
Mhm.
we just playing? Okay, we're just
Yep.
playing a little bit over here in the corner and we're saying, that'd be a great idea, but I'm just not going to do it. That's
Mhm.
probably what you need to be doing. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I understand. And then of course Leslie says, love it, brand scan. She said brand scan.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the brand scan. Rochelle don't play. Rochelle checks out everybody that walks into a room, and she will align herself with the people that match her energy. And if you come in there and your stuff ain't together, it's mm-mm.
Because I don't believe that. Here's my thought, and maybe there's others out there that believe or not, but here's what my line of thinking is. We represent our businesses, right?
Mhm.
We are the business. Okay. We are the brand. People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. All
Mhm.
right. If they see the consistency in what you are doing,
Mhm.
more than likely they want to know more about you. You have more conversations. They will bring you in. They will invite you to places that you never even thought that would exist because you're top of mind.
Mhm.
Okay. You're staying top of mind.
Mhm.
And who doesn't want that? That's why
Right.
when see people don't show up in spaces like they could
Mhm.
because they are playing it safe or they're shrinking themselves or playing it small. And you talked about the imposter syndrome
Mhm.
because we are starting businesses from our passions and our purposes
Mhm.
of things that we've done for a long time. But other people be like, what are we doing? You're not really that.
Mhm.
So we do need things that will build our confidence level and
Yes.
give us control.
Mhm.
And I love being in control of how I can show up because
Mhm.
I'm the only one stopping me, right? So
Right.
you did that and
Mhm.
and really gave this light. Like the light has been shown shined upon you and now the jobs are flowing in.
Mhm.
So, okay, y'all. So we're gonna have the brand scan. Okay, so
Mhm.
I'm gonna make sure that I include that somewhere in the future. Okay, and then Leslie also says confidence is attractive.
Mhm.
I agree.
Because think about it, what would people that reach out to me, they want stuff taken from their homes. A lot of times I get people who have lost a loved one, whether it's a
Mhm.
mother or father, whatever, and they need this whole house cleared out, these estate clean outs, and they want somebody in there that knows what they're doing, not somebody who's going to come in there and drop stuff and ruin the floors or break the walls, or they have a house that's trashed and they need somebody that can come in there and get all that stuff out, and so that people can see the possibilities of what the house
Mm,
could be. you
yes.
can't you can't do that if you don't have a certain amount of confidence,
No,
you
you
know.
really can't. And I'll tell you, this is not easy because when my dad passed away and my mom had to clean out the whole house, it was overwhelming to say the
Yes.
least. You talk
Hmm.
about Sanford and Son. Okay, y'all seen the TV show Sanford and
Hmm.
Son? My dad had everything out in the yard in two garages. And
Hmm.
we were just trying our best to get dumpsters and stuff like that. Now, if we had an Audra in our pocket, okay, it would have been a lot more smoother, a lot
Hmm.
less emotional, I think, because we were
Hmm.
looking at stuff. My mom looking at stuff. I said, is that got dirt on it? And you talking about holding on to this thing? Oh no, ma'am. We not
Michelle,
doing that. She
Michelle's so uppity. She's like, dirt?
dirt. We don't do dirt.
We
Okay.
don't do dirt.
I listen, y'all. I was just telling Audrey about being in the military and being outside. Okay,
With them bugs.
with them bugs and everything else in the elements. I am not the girl. Okay, I am not her anymore. I used to be able to do that, but right now, and I asked my mom, I said, I get it, but why do you want to hold on to this? What are you
Hmm.
going to use this at?
Hmm.
What, so I was trying to play the whole like psychological
Hmm.
mediator, trying to, get this feeling. And I was, and she knows I was exhausted. I was
Hmm.
just like, because it's a lot,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? But,
Hmm.
you have that gift to just step in and say, okay. And you know what questions to ask, you
Hmm.
know what direction, and you know the support that's
Hmm.
required. And you know that these things that they have, there
Hmm.
is an emotional attachment to these things.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you remember I asked you, I think it was at one meeting, or I think we were virtual, and you gave your presentation.
Hmm. I
And
remember
I,
what you
I
asked me
was
too.
like,
Hmm.
so how do you deal with the mental? Because
Yeah.
you're the one that's sitting in there helping them to decide whether they're not going to keep this china plate that is broken in 1,000 pieces and somebody glued together, and then whether or not they're going to take all these books that were in a box and it's all wet and dingy and everything like that, and rats were on it. So how,
Hmm.
and they still want it. So how do you take care of yourself through this?
Uh, you know, it's just in the morning. So I have a very specific routine in the morning. And
Mm.
I'm up at 3:30 every morning, 4 o'clock at the latest, without an alarm.
Jeez.
That's when my eyes pop open. You can blame
Well,
that on my dad. My dad is, retired Army. So he was always up early, and he was just like, "You want to come with me? You better be ready in 10 minutes." So you get the
sounds like my
shower, get your
dad.
teeth brushed, get yourself dressed in 10 minutes. And mind you, I grew up, we had one bathroom in the house.
Oh,
So
yeah, we did
sometimes
too.
I was at the kitchen sink, like butt naked little girl washing up in the sink because I was gone with my daddy. I don't care. I don't care. So, I did what I had to
Oh,
do because I was
yeah.
going with daddy. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
going with
I
daddy.
know.
So I've always been an early bird, but I have a very specific routine. I'm up, and when I open my eyes, before I get out of the bed, before I touch the phone, before I do anything, I'm saying my prayers and just saying what I'm grateful for in the morning.
Mhm. Yeah,
Even small stuff. Sometimes I'm just like, thank you for air conditioning because it is hot.
it's hot
I
out
mean,
here, y'all.
yeah. So, and then I do my exercises, and then I, post my content. So when I'm doing that gratitude piece and that me time, there's that quiet moment of about 40 minutes where it's just me being grateful and just, talking myself through the day, saying
Yeah,
that whatever happens, we're going to be able to handle it. And, God has my back. God is going to give me all the tools that I need to get through this day. And as each moment arises, He will give me the tools to get through that moment.
yeah,
So that is what grounds me to get through the day. And at the end of the day, honestly, after, especially if I have a clean out that's multiple days and there's a lot of stuff and it's just very emotional, and you can see that, these houses used to be beautiful and they're not anymore. And, just the things that are there that, used to have meaning to someone. When I come home, it's for me, it's
mhm,
easy to detach because you become thankful for the things that you have.
mhm,
And you become like a lot of clients that I deal with. Some of them are someone's died and the house needs to be cleared out, but then you have clients who are they're downsizing and they're selling their home that they've raised their family in and moving into senior living communities, some by choice
yeah,
because they just don't want to maintain things anymore, but some by force because they've
mm,
lost the physical ability to stay safely in their home by themselves.
yeah, yeah,
And when you see that and you see all of the clutter that has taken over people's lives and how it has really made them devolve
yeah,
as an individual, it's very easy to come home and be thankful
Mm-hmm.
because I still have the ability to stay in my home. I have my body. I may not be the weight I want to be because
Yeah.
menopause is wrecking my body or trying to, but
Hello.
my body is still strong and
Yeah.
resilient, and I can get up and do a junk removal job. I can get up and clean out in a state. I have the ability to do that. You start to become aware of the
Mm-hmm.
things that people take for granted every day.
Mm.
And so that's what keeps me grounded.
Yeah. Because I didn't only have the question. Leslie on theirs says, "How do you handle when someone is emotionally attached to an item?" Oh, she's got that
Mm,
question. So
mhm.
we'll get to that question here a bit.
Okay.
Hey, Stacy is on as well. Hey,
Okay.
Stacy
Hi,
Block.
Stacy.
So, thank you for being with us, Queen, and joining us live. And you got any questions for Audra? Go ahead and put them into the chat, okay? So let's go to what Leslie said or asked. She says, "How do you handle when someone is emotionally attached to an item?"
Mm. So you have to understand that when people are emotionally attached to an item, this is what I have learned in the past year and a half.
Mm,
They are not attached to the thing so much as
mm,
to the memory that
mm.
is like its energy, the memory of that thing. Something about that thing reminds them of if it's like their mom's sewing machine and the thing don't work and it's busted, but they don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, because it's not the sewing machine, it's the memory of their mother.
Mm.
Their mother spent her life making them clothes
Yeah.
on that machine.
Yeah.
And so letting go, they might feel guilt because they feel like, well, my mom is gone and she wouldn't want me to give up this machine. Honey, your mama's gone. She ain't thinking about that machine. Okay. And if she knew that it was bringing you so much stress, she would not want you to keep it in your life. Or they feel like if they get rid of the thing, they're going to forget the person. They're going to forget the memory.
Mm.
So letting go, they feel like they're really letting go
Yeah.
of the person, of the memories, like they're losing a piece of themselves. So what I have to do is, I let them talk to me. I say, okay, what is it about this piece that's that's stressing you that you don't want to get rid of it? And I'll even show them like, look, it's not even in good condition anymore. And then it's also, I don't want it to go into a landfill. Well, if you keep something for so long and you don't take care of it, eventually that's where it's going to go because these places that I donate to, they are picky and they want things that are in good condition because they want to sell them.
Yeah.
So, I talk to them. I say, what is it about this piece? And like oftentimes it's a memory of a loved one, and they feel like that's the last attachment that they have to that person. And if they let this thing go, then they're really saying that final goodbye to that person, and they don't
Yeah.
want to do that, you know? And so I have to tell them, listen, you can totally keep the memory and let
Mhm.
go of the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You can
Totally.
you can take a picture of this to have so that you can put it in a photo album. You can
Mhm.
put it on a digital photo album that sits on your dresser, and so that thing is always there for you to see. But keep the memory. Let
Yeah.
go of the stuff because they're not in that thing, whatever that thing is. They're not in that.
Yeah. If it's of no use, as
Yeah.
I was telling my mom, I say, my dad, he held on to other people's furniture. Like these are my
Hmm.
dead relatives, okay?
Hmm. Hmm.
And brought their furniture into the garage and had them in there. And I said, wait a minute,
Hmm.
why? And you're right.
Because he probably had some kind of emotional attachment. Those were people that meant a lot to him. And so he wanted that. And it's a really hard thing when you are aging and you start to see all of your friends dying, and most, and
Mm,
when you're of a certain age, a lot of your relatives are gone, and maybe you're the only surviving member of your immediate family.
yeah,
That's a hard thing to process. And if all you have left of the people that you loved are their
yeah,
things,
yeah.
you don't want to let that go,
Oh my gosh.
you
You know
know?
what? You done listen, you done opened up a whole nother conversation. First, we
Hmm.
have Malaysia on the LinkedIn side,
Okay.
and she is says that she's here, she's paying millions on storage to hold on to memories.
Yep.
Millions.
The storage business is a multi-billion-dollar business. There are storage units opening up all the time,
They
and people
everywhere.
are paying. I met a woman last year who, we calculated it out. She's paid probably $500,000 over 17 years and has not visited that storage space one time since she's put that stuff in there.
Oh no.
And she's complaining because she wants to buy a home, but she doesn't have the money. And I'm like, but you're paying $500 a month for a storage space. And storage units, no matter how much they say they're climate controlled, there are mice that get in those
Oh
places.
yeah.
Because we
Oh
have
yeah.
a small storage unit for like our Christmas decorations and stuff, and I have everything sealed up and in bins. And on the floor, whenever I go, there's always mouse droppings. And she has cloth furniture. I'm like, and you haven't been there in 17 years. Those mice have run all over that stuff, peed on it, tore into it, made nests out of it.
Ugh.
So nothing in there is
Nothing is
useful
there
anymore.
worth it to even
Everything in there
looking.
is trash.
You
You
just need
can.
to just take the storage box and tell the people, "Hey, how much does it cost for you to get rid of all this stuff inside the storage bin?" I
Hmm.
mean, seriously.
Hmm.
But you're right. I see storage units all over the place. I
Yes.
mean, every time you turn a corner out here,
Hmm.
there are storage spaces. And my
Hmm.
mom, she had one, and we were like, "You will not have this storage space for more than 6 months.
Hmm.
We will clean out this storage space." And I'll tell you that when we had that last one, it was like, "You don't need this and you don't need that, and we getting rid of this today because you don't
Hmm.
want this hanging over you for
Hmm.
years and years to come because this stuff in here, who wants an old Christmas tree decoration, y'all? That ain't it's nothing to make no sense to it. I'm like, you
Hmm.
got 3 Christmas trees at home already. Like,
Right.
you can let go of one. Okay,
Hmm.
this one right here
Hmm.
is dirty and it don't need to go back in nobody else's home. Now we got
Hmm.
Malaysia. Now she moved on over to the YouTube side, so she
Oh.
was no longer definitely on the YouTube side. She said she no longer has the storage units, right?
That's good.
That's so
That's
good.
good.
And then Leslie says, "Keep the memory, let go of the stuff," which is a
Hmm.
great tagline. Okay,
Hmm.
so I was like, yeah, like,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
have to. You
we
have
have
to.
to. Now
You
she
know.
now Malaysia got a question here. She said,
Okay.
"What about our military memorabilia?"
Listen, I had a woman whose husband served, and he was in the Vietnam War,
Oh yeah.
and she was downsizing. This was recently. This client was only a couple months ago, and he was a Vietnam vet, and there were cases and cases and cases of film from Vietnam. Well, like film projectors and all of that, and medals and just awards. And but this woman was moving from a 2,400 square foot house down to 600 square feet. And she was just, my son was so, he was like, Mom, these are all medals and things. Do you really think she wanted this stuff to go? I'm like, she set everything down here, son, but if you want to go and make sure that she's not throwing away something by accident, you go on up there and talk to her. So he went up, he was like, Ma'am, we found boxes of, your husband's, you know, um, all his awards and his medals from the service. And thank you so much for your husband's service. My son's so wonderful. He's like, thank you so much for
That's
your
wonderful.
husband's service. And, but did you mean to, put these in the pile for it to go away? And she said, yes, son, I did. She's like, I don't have room for it. And she made the choice to just get rid of it all. And my son, like the Vietnam, the films and stuff, he put in, for it to go into the landfill, but the metals, he's like, I can't do it, mom. So he has them sitting up in his room in a little box because he was just like, I can't. He was like, I've heard about the Vietnam War and how horrible it was. He's like, I can't throw these away.
Oh,
And I said,
wow.
okay, but we can find somebody, because there are people that collect those kind of things. I said,
They
we can
do.
find somebody, because you can't be like hoarding and having stuff all up in my house.
No,
We're not going to do all
because
that.
you are the clutter conqueror, and
Yes.
now like folks are bringing in more clutter for you to be conquering
Yeah,
in your
exactly.
house. So
Yeah.
you got, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I've got so much military stuff that is like coming out of my ears. Okay, and I had to make some decisions. I had to
Hmm.
say, okay, in reality, where would I put this at? Like if I
Hmm.
haven't putting it on a wall, because I'm in my office and y'all have pictures of military stuff on my walls.
Hmm.
If I can't put it on the wall, or if it didn't make it to the wall, guess what? It's probably not something that I should really hold on, especially if it don't have my name on it.
Hmm.
I mean, it was just a gift from somebody. Now my
Hmm.
medals, we turned it into a coffee stand, and
Hmm.
we, have them all placed in that table.
Hmm.
But it's just really, it's something else when when you have a long career, you get this stuff and it
Hmm.
just accumulates over time, and you just have to ask yourself, do I really need all of this?
You have to, really, there's Marie Kondo. She had this thing, where she on Netflix, and, she would say, hold something in your hand. It doesn't spark joy. And if it doesn't spark joy, to let it go. Now, with your military memorabilia, yeah, you're going to have lots of awards and lots of medals, and but are all of them really sentimental to you, or are there specific ones that you're just like, yeah, I went through hell and back for this one. This one I'm keeping. But
Exactly.
and that's a personal choice for you to make, and you can do like you did, where you make something to display them all.
Yeah.
But every one of those things is not important to you. So you have to figure
Especially if it's
out,
broken, you have not glued that thing back together again.
yeah,
Okay. Because
it's
if we
time to
got
let
some
it
folks
go.
out here, listen, I know who you are. I've been to your house. I've looked at this stuff, and you just said, girl, I'm just going to glue this thing on back together. I don't know how that got broken between, moving from one
Hmm.
base to the next. I'm like, girl, you're not going to glue that
You're
thing
not
back
going to glue that
together.
thing
Go
back
ahead and
together.
throw that thing
Throw it
away.
out.
It's
Take a
okay.
picture, throw it
Take a
out.
picture.
Take a
Throw it
picture, throw it out.
out. you
That
know,
is what I tell people when they have this hard time. They want to be holding on to stuff. Take a picture and throw it out. I
yeah.
try to be nice. I try to be, okay, let's talk through this. Like I helped this couple that was moving to Florida to be closer to their family, and this woman wanted to keep everything
Yeah, there's some
of
folks out
her
there like that.
grandsons, and because she raised him, and I'm like, listen. She was like, well, he might want. I said, and I have a book that I'm reading right now, and it's called "Nobody Wants Your Shit."
Exactly.
And it's all about decluttering. And I told her, I said, your grandson does not want this stuff. He's in college, and when he gets out of college, he's going to have his own place, and he's going to have his own style, and he's going to want his own things. And she was like, well, he might want this. I said, let's call him right now.
Yeah.
It was this stupid little Coca-Cola, like little mini refrigerator sitting on his dresser, and the box for it was still in the closet. I said, let's call him right now. Let's see if he wants it. And she's like, well, no. I said, no, 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 no. Let's call him, text him,
Yeah, let's
get
do
your
a
cell
little
phone. Let's
test.
just call him.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. She calls him, and she's like, well, your Coca-Cola refrigerator is sitting on your dresser, and the box is for it here. Do you want it? And he was like, my what? And he didn't even know what she was talking about.
Exactly.
And he was like, Grandma, And she was like, "You don't remember?" She was like, "I bought this for you." He's like, "Yes, Grandma, you bought it for me." He's like, "I
Yeah.
didn't want that thing." He was like,
No.
"Grandma, anything that's in my room, throw it out. Throw it out." And she's like, "But there's so much stuff in here from all your toys from when you were a kid." He's like, "Grandma, I'm in college now. Throw it out."
And
They don't want your stuff. Anybody watching this and you are saving stuff because you think your child is going to want this and you saving it for, they don't want your stuff. They have their own lives, they have their own homes, some of them have their own spouses. They got enough stuff of their own. I had to hurt my own father's feelings. My father, I love books just like my dad. I just got rid of a whole living room full of books because and donated them because they were just taking up too much space and I felt anxious from it. And
yes.
when you are keeping stuff and it makes you feel anxious and burdened down, it's time to let go. And my dad has a basement full of books, and he's like, "Books are my friends." And he's like, "I don't know how you gave away all your books. And when I die, all these books will be yours." And I was like, "And they going right in the trash." And it just came out. It just flew out before I even said anything. And he was just like, "You would throw away my books?" I said, "Daddy, I don't want your books.
Yeah, they were for
I don't have
you.
space for all these books. Those
Yeah,
books are for you. There's a
yeah,
couple of books that are autographed, that are Black
yeah,
history that I will take.
yeah,
But I said, Daddy, I don't, if you're keeping these books because you think I want them, I said, I don't want anything in this house except the photo albums and the antique music box that my grandmother gave to him when she closed the shop.
yeah.
That's all I want." And
That's
and he was just like, I was like, "Daddy, don't save it for me." I
yeah.
was like, you need to pare it down. Get rid of this stuff. Don't save it for me. I don't want it.
I'm the same way.
I don't
I
want it.
can't, and I took a few of my dad's books and the rest of them I put them in these bins and I took them over to the next door neighbor and I
Hmm.
said, "Do you know any place in town that could benefit from these books?"
Hmm.
And he said, "Oh yeah, they got a bookstore downtown." I said, "Oh, okay." And my mom's like, "He's gonna take all those books?" "Yes, ma'am, because
Hmm.
you're not reading them, and I'm not reading it. Nobody else is reading. We got what we wanted." So I think that when people hang on to things that are just not you're not going to ever pick up again. You're
Hmm.
not going to read. You're not going to engage with it.
Hmm.
You just need to part ways and just say, "Okay, I'm good." Now, Malaysia, now she says she was thinking of having an honor room in a headquarter space once I get one. So she got all this stuff from the
Okay.
military and she want to now,
Knock yourself out
yeah,
if that's what you want to do,
yeah.
but make it organized because otherwise, all it is a storage room for all this stuff. You're not going to do it. You're not. Make it an honor room.
Yeah.
Like put thought and intention into it, and get an interior designer to come in and help you
Yes.
arrange and organize
Yes.
things. But if you just throw everything in that room, that's a storage space.
There's a storage
You're
space.
not doing nothing with it. You're not doing nothing with it.
Okay, Malaysia, you heard it from the expert, okay? And she said she got hundreds of coins
Oh my
too.
goodness. Oh my,
And she loves Marie Kondo.
yes, Marie
So
Kondo is amazing.
yeah, she's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
love her. And
yeah.
she said her husband would hire you to come over today.
Listen, I ain't trying to start no
She's
fight.
available, okay? So go ahead and give her a call and let her know. She'll be
I'm
over
not
there.
trying. Listen, here's the thing. People hold on to things because and they people don't want to see things go in the landfill, right?
Mm,
But unfortunately, a lot of the times, these jobs that I go on, they've held on to something for so long and did not take care to make sure it was like in a climate controlled environment or protected from the elements. And like, I've moved furniture. They're like, "I want this furniture donated." And we go to move it and it starts falling apart. I can't donate
can't do
that.
nothing with that.
I
What
can't do
are
nothing
you
with
talking
that.
about?
Or you want me to take this box of books and I go to pick it up and the bottom falls out because the mice have eaten the books and made a nest. What you want me to do with that? What you want me to do with that?
that
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but this is what is going
this is
on
what you see all the time.
all the time. They wait so long to get rid of something, but by the time they are ready to let it go and they're like, "I want it donated," it's got
Donate
cat
it to
pee
what?
on it.
Oh no.
It's been chewed up by mice. It's gotten water damage and mold. It is going to the landfill. And sometimes, I can tell people are just having a difficult. And then I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm going to donate it." And my son will be saying when we get in the truck, he was like, "Donate it to the landfill because that's the only
Exactly.
place that wants it." So if you want stuff to be donated, get rid of it now
Yeah, donate it to the
is
agencies that you want to donate it to.
while it's still intact and able to be used by someone else, while it can be given a second home. But don't be sitting there and have it in the garage out in the elements. It ain't wrapped up in plastic, it's not protected in any kind of way, and then you have me come over and clean out your garage and everything is trashed. I I can't do nothing with that. I had a gentleman that had us. He got a storage space. He had moved back here to Maryland. He got a storage space 17 years ago.
Mm,
His daughter was 2. He
mm.
had all this kitty stuff in there. He had a dresser that when we moved it, he wanted us to donate it. When we moved it, the whole bottom had been eaten out by rats.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was like, this is not getting donated. All this stuff, he didn't even know what was in there.
I know.
He found a katana. My son geeked out over that. He was like, "Do you want it?" He gave my son a katana. It's like this beautiful sword. But other than that and some comic books, everything in there was trash. And he was like, I asked him, I said, "This little Dora chair, does your daughter want it?" Now, mind you, at the time, I didn't know he had this place for 17 years. He said, "No, that's been in here for 17 years. My daughter's 21 now." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Wait a minute." I said, "So you've had this space for 17 years?" He's like, "Yeah, well, when we moved back here, we were trying to find a place to live, and so we put everything in storage and said we were gonna come get it once we got settled." And he was like, "I just kept paying on the storage space, but we never came back here. This is the first time I've been back since we got it."
see, that means he didn't even need it.
He
Like
didn't need it.
you've been
You
looking
haven't
at it all
used
these
it
years,
in
so
a year, if you haven't used it in a year, you're not going to use it. Get rid of it. Don't wait until it becomes unusable and I can't find a second home for it. To get rid of it now.
yes,
You have
please.
something in your garage, you have a closet full of stuff, and you want it donated, get rid of it now.
And so, okay, so
Because,
first,
I mean, just y'all, the time and elements, even inside your home, you got a
yes.
crawl space with
Oh
stuff up
no,
there.
not the crawl
The
spaces.
crawl space gets
Not the
hot,
crawl
it gets
space.
cold, it gets
No,
hot, it
Lord.
gets cold,
Has
and that stuff
everybody
is,
been in their crawl space lately? Have you ever
listen,
been in it before?
if
This
you got stuff in that crawl space that you think you're donating, I'm here to tell you, if it's been up there exposed, because remember, crawl spaces, they are hot and cold. They just like the outside. The elements have been getting to it. It is not any. It's not. Just throw it out.
it's not.
It's
It's not. And
mm-mm,
I'm gonna tell you
mm-mm,
firsthand. Went into my mom and dad's crawl space after he passed, and y'all, the ceiling in the garage was actually doing
mm,
this number because there
mm-mm,
was so much things up in the crawl space. And
mm,
then when they were bringing the stuff down on, and bringing it out for us to kind of sort through, my
mm-hmm,
head just went like this.
mm-hmm,
None of this is good. Okay. I
mm-hmm.
don't even know how this
Right.
made it up there, but it's not good anymore. So we just gonna have to get rid of it. And it's
Mm-hmm,
okay. I think too, when you talk about peace
mm-hmm,
of not having these things, it gets that this is all about wellness, y'all. We talking about your mindset and the
mm-hmm,
wellness that comes from not having all these little bitty things just laying around and you're of no use to you.
mm-hmm,
So your advice on getting rid of things, doing this, you said 3 times a year
mm-hmm.
is what you do?
With the change of the seasons, fall, spring, spring cleaning. That's an easy one to remember if you can't remember any of the other ones. Fall, spring, And then that last week in December after Christmas, because now you done got all this new stuff for Christmas, right? So now you got stuff you can get rid of. So the day after Christmas, for them 4 days, from the 26th through the 30th, I'm going through my house. I'm going through the junk drawer in the kitchen. I'm going through the spice cabinets. I'm going through my canned goods. I'm going through the closets. I'm going through every room in the house and decluttering and getting rid of. And what I can donate, I donate. And what just needs to go to the landfill goes to the landfill. And I start off the year with a fresh, clean house. I wait, because my mom always did this. She still does that. She'll call me on New Year's Eve. She's like, "Your house clean?" Because
Really?
yes, because she's like, if you start New Year off with the dirty house, your house gonna stay dirty all year. She believes that. So she will call me. She's like, "Is your house clean? Are you?" I'm like, I'm all set, Mama. Everything's clean."
Everything's good.
Yes. But here's the thing. So when you, like I said, with my living room, I love books. I had 3 shelves of books, and it was all organized and neat. And my wood stove is in there, and it was looking all good. But every time I sat in there lately, I felt like like
Mm,
agita is what I call it, just like unease, and just couldn't get. And I was like, what is in this room that is making me feel this way? And I'm looking at all these books, and I'm like, it can't be my books, because they're all nice and organized, and I got all my little. And no, it was the books, because I was like, you're never. Some of these books I bought just to support authors, and I never read them, wasn't going to read them because they just
yeah,
weren't my thing. And
yeah,
others I've already read, and I know I'm not going to read them again. And
yeah.
so I said, okay, so I had a vision of what I wanted to turn my living room into. So I made hear what I'm saying to you. I decided.
Hmm.
That's the first step. That's the hardest step. But
It
that is the
is.
most freeing step, when you make the decision.
Yeah.
So I got all these books. I had 15 contractor bags full of books. Took them out the
Wow.
house,
Yeah.
donated them,
Yeah.
took out the shelves, donated those, and started with an empty space. All that was left in there was my couch, my wood stove. Cleaned the walls, cleaned the floors, painted,
Yeah.
put a nice little coffee table that I got for free from a junk removal job from this
Hmm.
really nice home.
Hmm.
Got a TV stand off Facebook Marketplace. Now my living room, it's got, I've got and it's peaceful. I sit in there, and my TV is on this beautiful Pier 1 TV stand, and my wood stove is over there by itself. And I have my wood chest that a client gave me, that's cedar, and I have extra blankets in there, and the living room is open and clear.
Yeah.
When you have stuff in your house, you have a
Mm.
room, a closet, whatever, and you can feel the weight of it emotionally, it's time for you to let it go.
Listen, you already like in my like I don't even know in my
That
spirit, in
closet
my
over there. What's
soul.
that
Yeah,
closet over there?
it's this closet over here in the office that needs my attention. And
Mm-hmm.
then it is my closet in my bedroom
Mm-hmm.
because y'all know in these clothes, this thing is a thing. So
Mm-hmm.
as I have, brought pieces in, I have seen where I'm just like I go in there and I'm like, ooh, okay. Um, some of these things I'm not wearing anymore. It was good for what it was like 2 years ago, but now I'm like, nah.
And y'all know you got clothes up in your closet that you like
Oh,
4 sizes too big for, and you ain't let it go. You ain't getting
let it
back into
go,
that
y'all.
no time soon. And
Yes.
just let it go.
Yeah.
You ain't, and you got clothes in your closet that you can fit them, but something, it digs in your side, or it rides up in your butt, and you don't like them jeans. Get rid of them.
Get
Stop it.
rid of them.
Stop it. Listen,
So we
just
got
get
we
rid
got
of
to
it.
make room for the new things that we're bringing in because this show really is about inspiring you to move into action to do something differently. And today, y'all, we were talking about removing things, okay?
Mhm.
Like things you got laying around in your office space,
Mhm.
your closets,
Mhm.
your garage,
Mhm.
outside, that is no longer serving you. All right. Now,
Mhm.
if you are having difficulties and you are in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, Audra, okay, she comes in there, she gets rid of this stuff. And now, just because she come and get rid of it, don't mean you go back to just buying a whole bunch of stuff and
Mm-mm.
then you back to square one again.
Mm-mm.
This is a process where you can start to live a better life and a life of freedom, really, from
Mhm.
being attached to things that are no longer serving us.
And
Okay.
listen, I have yet to run into a client that they would fight so hard that they wanted to keep so much stuff.
Mm,
But when it was gone,
mm,
they always said, "Oh my gosh,
yeah. Oh my
I
gosh.
feel so, I didn't realize how much it was weighing on me. I feel so light." And you don't have to start big.
Yeah.
You can start with the junk drawer in the kitchen. My junk
We all
drawer is
got the junk
always,
drawer.
yep, my junk drawer is the catch all. I just cleaned it a month ago and it's already looking shady again.
Mm-hmm.
You start with a countertop, start with your nightstand next to your bed.
Woo, the
And
nightstand,
your
y'all.
nightstand will get you every time.
Every every
Every
single time.
time.
Okay.
Mine gets out of hand all the time. I have to
All the
clean mine.
time.
Yeah. But you will be surprised when you do that one thing, that one small area, and then it's
Mhm.
clear, and you're like, it's motivational. It's like, okay, what can I do next? It really
Mhm.
does. It opens up the door that gives you that burst of energy, because it's like clutter is like an energy log jam.
Mm.
And when you have stuff sitting around that you know you don't need, that you know you need to go through, you can't be creative because you're
Oh.
always focusing on that stuff. You can't, you react to things instead of responding to things, because
Mhm.
really clutter can keep you in survival mode. It really can. It could keep you in survival mode where you're not making decisions based on what is best for you. You're
Right.
making decisions out of because you're stressed,
Uh-huh.
and it just affects everything that you do. And when you clear that area, whatever it is that's stressing you the most, it frees up energy. Do yourself a favor. One day, take a room in your house. I like to do it with my bedroom. I'll go and do a deep clean, and then I go to sleep. And when you wake up in the morning and you've woken up to this clean, decluttered room, it
Yeah.
starts your day off right.
Yeah.
And when you
You're
leave
right.
the house and you come back to that room and
Yeah.
it's motivational, it's freeing, it's liberating, it helps you to be able to thrive in your own environment.
Mhm.
Your house should be a place of peace
Mm.
and welcoming, and the place that you come back to retreat from the world. And if you come home and that place you're supposed to be able to retreat to and find safety only makes you feel more stressed because you have stuff everywhere. It's time to make a change, and it just starts with deciding. And
Yeah.
then there's people that can help you, like me, and there are organizers that can help you, but you just have to decide that you don't want to live like that. And if you're older, it can be a safety hazard. I have a
Mhm.
client that fell. He's had back surgery and he fell because his wife died and she was a hoarder, and there was stuff in every hallway. And he called me up and said, "I need you to come help me clear this hallway because I fell and I couldn't get up. I had to wait for my son-in-law to come and find me."
Mm, 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 mm. That's a sad situation
That's a
here.
health hazard. Clutter
It
can be
certainly
dangerous.
is. Y'all don't want to be on the episode of Hoarders, okay? Because I be
Mm-mm.
watching that show too, and I just be like, wow,
Yeah.
how do we get there? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So take Audra's pieces of advice, all right, and making sure that you have a safe home that you can come to, but more importantly, this peace that we're seeking that everybody like, protect the peace.
Mm-hmm.
We got to have, like peaceful settings, stuff like that. It starts in the environment with the things that we got going on that are laying around that we
Mm-hmm.
know we just need to throw it away and put it in the trash. or give
Mhm.
it away to somebody else. So, Audra, you know we at an hour and 15 minutes, as I knew we were going to be on here for a minute. Okay. So, y'all, I'm telling you, we could be down here for 2 and 3 hours,
Oh, we
but
for sure.
we know that y'all got business and things to be doing because it is
Yes.
Sunday night, going
Mhm.
into the week, and so preparing for that. All right, so of course you know how this goes because of course Audra, she's already in tune to the show. Okay, now if you haven't subscribed and shared and done all those things, it's never too late to do that. All right, so go ahead and subscribe and go to the Slate to Success YouTube channel. That way, when these videos drop, you have the signal that come out, there's a new video, and you just watch that, and then you share with somebody you know who would benefit from this conversation. So before we leave, do you have anything else that you want to share before I give you the last question?
I mean, y'all just like I said, just make the decision. Just and don't let shame keep you from getting started. That is the biggest
Mm,
thing that causes most of my clients to have things get out of hand is it starts with this one small thing and then they feel shame because they let that one thing grow and get out of control. There is no shame, there is no judgment. Just acknowledge that it's there and determined to make a difference, because what would be really shameful is if you let it get to a point where you can't even your house ends up looking like an episode of Hoarders,
mm,
or the county ends up calling because things are getting out of control. Somebody calls the county on you. You don't want to get to those levels of things, but just don't allow the shame to keep you from getting started. Just start.
mm.
Just
I
start.
think that is so good.
And there is no judgment here. People always, when I come in, they're like, "Oh my gosh, what you must think of me." I'm not here to judge you, because
We trying to get this stuff out of here.
listen, and if people didn't have clutter, I wouldn't have a business. So
That's
I
right.
thank you for
Yeah,
having the clutter. But
exactly.
let's I'm not going to judge you. Let's work and get it cleared.
Let's get this done.
Let's get
Okay.
it done so you can thrive.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God. Whew. Okay, so all right. So the last question
Mhm.
is, I'm all about legacy. I'm all about what are we doing each and every day? What actions are we taking? So that way when we leave this earth, we want people to talk about us. And hopefully this is in the positive way and the right things are being said and shared about you because you put all that into place, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
80th birthday party, okay? Because that's where I'm already there, but
Mhm.
I'm really want, like, I'm not 80, but I'm there, like, in the mindset, y'all.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, what do I want my family and friends to say about me at the birthday party, gathering, or whatnot?
Mhm.
Because I know it's important as a leader, change maker, trailblazer that we all are, that we're contributing some way, somehow to the next generation.
Mhm.
So, what would you want your family and friends to say about you
Mhm.
on your 80th birthday party?
It's funny because my mother's going to be 80 on August 7th, and I'm planning her surprise party now.
Woo!
Yes.
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 Happy
And
birthday, mama.
yeah. Um, I've been thinking about this since you asked me to be on the show.
Oh,
Yeah. I told I watch your show
yeah,
all the
I know you
time.
do. So that's
So I was thinking about this, and we all make our mistakes. None of us are
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah.
But I would hope that what would be said about me is that she was never afraid to
Mm.
reinvent herself,
Mm.
no matter what age she was.
Yeah.
Because really, I've been, trying to find what works for a while. And now I found this, and, it's my thing. But it takes a lot of strength to be able to reinvent yourself. So I hope that people would talk about the strength that I have
Mhm.
to live my life on my terms
Mm,
and not be boxed in by other people's expectations.
yeah, I agree. And I
Yeah.
know that's going to happen. I know that's what they're going to say because, like I said before, a lot of times it's too scary that people won't do it.
Hmm.
They'll just go with the flow and be, comfortable with where they're at
Hmm.
because it's predictable.
Hmm.
So what we do is high risk.
Hmm.
People don't understand it. They may not see it right now, but
Hmm.
I can guarantee you when it comes to the day, they're going to be like, I mean, anyone who can start something from nothing, I'll just say it is just one of those things. And it could not just only be in your business, it could be in your career.
Hmm.
It could be in a transition to your next chapter where you're just feeling like I need something else. But yeah, I mean, you're doing a dang thing, Queen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, like, keep on slaying it and, doing what you do because there is a need. And y'all, if you like this episode, which you should, okay, and it's a must see episode, and you should be going back to here time and time again because it's not just about the junk, all right, that we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to free our mind up so that way we have the space and the clarity and the confidence to do whatever it is that we've been called to do. Okay.
Hmm.
And everybody got a calling on their life. So I just want to thank all of our guests that were here that left comments here. Okay. So we had Malaysia first started on LinkedIn and then she switched over onto the YouTube side.
Yes.
Okay. Because she got all the social media channels, y'all.
Right.
Okay. So she was here. So thank you, Malaysia, for dropping in and got some comments going there. And then we got on a Facebook side, we had Stacy, we had Leslie who was dropping comments. Now I see some other folks watching. It got Glenroy was watching, Ernestine is watching. So thank you all for being here tonight with us.
Yes.
Just,
Thank you for being
you
here.
know, giving some attentions to what we're talking about. And thank you, Audra, for being here. And we'll see each other here soon. All
Of
right, because we in
course.
the
Yes.
neighborhood, and
Hmm.
so y'all, you're gonna see us again together, probably in pictures, or maybe she'll come back for round two.
Hmm. And maybe I'll come over to that house and help you get that closet straight.
Yeah, and get this closet done, and we will do a documentary on that. There's gonna be a whole lot of talking to that. I'm sure. I like y'all don't want to see this closet. This closet right
Oh,
here. My husband, like, he don't even know. He just be like, "Woo, you got a lot of sleigh stuff in there." I said, "Yep."
got
The
it.
sleigh stuff just keep
It
building
keep
up,
coming.
building up, and I was just like, "Okay, all right." So yeah, I probably need your help.
Well,
So
thank you for having me. I
you're
appreciate it. It's an
welcome.
honor to be here with you.
Yes, of course. And y'all, please come back here next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another Slate to Success talk show. And if you come back for the replay, put in hashtag replay so we know that you visited us. And as always, all right, we're going to keep on slaying
Till
until
we
we
can't
can't slay
slay
no
no
more.
more.
Okay. All right, y'all. Bye bye. Have a slay amazing week.
Bye bye.
Bye. Chevy done dropped it. Look, she's gonna say, hello, Queen. Okay, we out. Bye, Queen.